So just more on the Ferrari F8 project. Just wanted to show you the level of detail that we go into building some of these parts. So we have 3 USBs to mount in the car. One is to update the radar, one is to update the laser, and one is to update the stereo that we put in it. So rather than just stick these to the bottom of the dash or leave them hanging or dangling, we're gonna make a pod. So what we're gonna do is, this is a prototype. So I cut it in wood first on the laser. I designed it and then cut it on the laser in wood and then assemble it just so that I can see what my tolerances are like and to make sure that I have everything right. So the final version will actually be made out of acrylic. It'll be sanded, polished, it'll be labeled. We'll show you that whole process. But so now the way this is supposed to work is when all this is bolted together, it will hold this all in place. All 3 USBs will look like it's one assembly, and this assembly we're going to mount under the dash, so all you're going to see is the face, and then the face will have what every USB is for. So again, serviceability down the road, the client or if anybody needs to service the vehicle, just go to the appropriate port, upload the new firmware, and we're back in business. So this is the actual where I designed it. So I actually designed it on this program, and then we cut it on our laser here. So now what's crazy is because we have such precision, I have to make multiple little pieces because we're working with such a small margin of error, and I want it to be perfect or as perfect as possible. Usually I make multiple pieces till it's literally dead on. We use a micrometer, so caliper and micrometer, so to check our distances and everything, and then we enter that into here. And if you can see, so I'll show you, this is part of the process, that's the process, that's the process, that's the process. So these are all the steps that we have to take in order to come up with the, wrong one. In order to come up with the final pieces that we need in order to cut them on our laser. So it's quite a few steps. It depends. So it depends how close we get the tolerances, how perfect it is. But I mean, it can take 50, 60 steps probably to design a part, something so simple. But the nice thing is that once it's done, it looks like a finished bought part, and it's custom to that vehicle. And now if it ever has to be serviced or anything, there's no guessing, there's no error. It's okay, you plug into the radar port, plug into the laser port, or you plug into the stereo port, especially because this car is going to another state. So we want to make it as serviceable as possible, because if something goes wrong, we want to make it easy for somebody to be able to go in there and service it. So this is that mock-up of the USB pod that I told you. So this was the prototype, basically just to kind of prove that we could do it, and also to figure out some of our gaps and our dimensions. So this is the final piece. So the new piece obviously has radar, laser, stereo, and then all of it's now made out of acrylic. So this is all 1/8 inch shiny gloss acrylic, and then we have a couple of these are 16th inch acrylic pieces, which are shims that we build, and we'll show you this later. But this piece here lives in here. So what this does is it locks the USB in place, so that when you plug the USB from the front, it doesn't allow you to push it through. And then this one on the side, which is this piece now, which is now lasered, is to center the USB. So it's just a shim to make sure that USB is actually perfectly aligned with the opening, so that we don't have to guess. Everything is kind of perfectly spaced. And then we'll do a little time lapse of me actually assembling it. So we'll glue it all together, sand it, polish it, and it'll be one solid block with all 3 USBs built in.
How on this vehicle we're going an extra step as to not drill any holes, cut any wires. We made this bracket little C-clip bracket out of aluminum, and that's going to hold our USBs, which is for our radar, our laser, and our VXI amp for stereo tuning, if it ever has to be done. And our original plan is it's going to get mounted under here, but we don't want to drill any holes, so we made the clip, and this is going to get clipped underneath. Kind of hard to see, but it's just going to slide on, kind of like a money clip. So that'll slide on, lock on there, as you can see, and that is going to sit something just like that. And you'll see pictures of the finished product once it's all done.